Hello, this is Stephanie Washer, and we're going to go through the second part of Word. So now we're going to go into entering in. So the first part was just kind of like basic navigation and getting through what Word is all about. Now we're going to go into entering text into a document. The one thing I want to show you is at the end of 1-4, they had margins. So under layout is your margins. So I clicked on the layout tab, margins, and for the first Word assignment, we had to do narrow margins. So you want to make sure you click on narrow. And so here we've got layout, margins, narrow. Not normal, narrow. And it's going to make them pretty small. I'm going to see if we can I'm going to show the ruler on this. I really like showing the ruler because the ruler, I'm going to go back to layout. So if we go normal margins, you can see we've got an inch margin, and then narrow margins, it makes it a lot smaller. So you can see we've got normal margins are an inch all the way around. Narrow is 1/2 inch all the way around. Moderate gives you an inch top and bottom, and then 0.75 or 3/4 right and left. Wide, 1 inch top and bottom, 2 inches on either side. And then back in the day, Office 2003 had left and right margins of 1.25. It was really annoying. Or you can click on custom margins, and then you can just make them whatever you want. I actually really like this now. We used to just have to do custom margins, but normal and narrow is all I ever need. That's what I've noticed, because most of the time when you're writing papers, inch is all anyone ever asks for. But for flyers, I always use the narrowest I can go. And that's what narrow means. So there's the two different Word setups. Let's go back here. And now let's go into entering text. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to type in the text. And I need to figure out what to... Oh, it says wash your hands. That's what I'm typing in. Wash your hands. So wherever that flashing cursor is, I'm putting exclamation, that is where you're going to type your text. So I'm going to type everything here because it's exactly the same between the two. I was going to start spelling my name. Wash your hands. And so it's got everything. So we have kind of like what looks like a piece of paper. We've got our insertion point, the text. And now down here you can see we've got our words. We've got 3 words. If you make a spelling error, you can click back with your mouse. You can change it that way. Or you can leave it and then go back and do spell check later. So review, spelling, and grammar. You can do that later. I'm not doing that right now. So now we want to go on to the next line. So we just hit enter. So now our insertion point is down here. And honestly, if you have a touch screen, you can use that too. But this is our margin up here in that black space. Blank space. If we want to zoom, I actually just hold Control on my keyboard and use my mouse roller to do zoom. And it's real nice and easy. Controls. Scroll up and down. I love it. But if you want to go and zoom through view, you've got view, and then right here in the middle, you've got zoom. You could do 100%. I've done this before where I want it on one page. I want multiple pages. So if you click on 100%, it gives you 100% of the page, or you can click on zoom itself and you can choose whatever you want. Sometimes I've done 75% or 60%. I mean, it's if I have a landscape, you know, where if I go home, actually, no, I'm sorry, it's under layout. If I have orientation of portrait versus landscape, sometimes it doesn't fit on the screen when it's landscape, right? So portrait is 8.5 by 11, where the 11 is the length and 8.5 is the width. But if you chose landscape, it does 11 inches width and then 8.5 length. So, but I'm going to keep it at that. You can actually choose custom sizes. So you can do executive or legal. That's only under special circumstances, and then you can do columns and all sorts of stuff here too. Okay, I'm going to go back home. And so that zooming 100% button is very nice because you can just go right back to 100% if you messed something up. Also, there is the page width. So you can change your page width, you can change your zoom to fill up the page. So that's nice. If you change your zoom, will the document print differently? No, it will not. It will print exactly how you have it set up here. What are other pre-designed? Okay, so those are all the other predefined zoom. And then if we change it back to 100, it just makes it as seen as the actual preview. If you want to display your formatting marks, I don't do this because this is on the home page. And there's the show or hide button. Well, this is where when you have a smaller screen, it's hard to see, right? So it's under the paragraph area. So I put the bigger screen up, but it's under paragraph. So if you hit the arrow down by paragraph, you can see the backwards P there. But I had to make it big screen. If I made it big screen, you can see it right away. Okay, so that's paragraph markings. I'm not a huge fan of showing them, but there are some instances that make it nice where you can tell where all your enters are. The other thing is there's shortcut keys. I learned all the shortcut keys because I never wanted to take my hands off the keyboard to make things nice and easy. But that's when I did a lot of typing. I don't do typing as much anymore. I use my mouse more. So using the ribbon bar is probably how I do it. But Control Shift, it helps when and then star. And it just toggles it on and off. But see, notice it gives you the little dots in between, and that's fine. So we'll leave it for now until I get a little annoyed with it. And then word wrap, it'll just type words in a paragraph without pressing enter at the end of each line. As you type, the words are just going to keep going beyond the right margin. So you can use that. I don't know. Word wrap, you want it to wrap. The way it happens organically is the way it should be. All right. So we've got wash your hands, and then we hit enter. We're on a new line. And then washing your hands with soap. Yeah, see, it's already annoying me. So Control Shift star with soap and water. I always hit space. Okay, so washing your hands with soap and water can decrease outbreaks of foodborne illness because it can prevent spreading germs from hand to food. All right. So we've got it wrapping, and then it automatically wraps at this point. So you can, if we hit enter, we will get a new line. If I did Control Shift or Control Shift star, sorry, then all my formatting gets back in there. I don't know why I don't like those little dots, but I don't. So I don't mind the paragraphs, or the big P's. So we're on the next line, and then we're gonna do spelling and grammar check. I think I did okay. Let's spell something wrong. Let's delete, and then I did have this spelled wrong at some point. Okay, so it's got 2 blue underlines here for the AN, and then for my misspelling, it's got the red underline. So the red wavy underline, it tags it. It is not spelled right. The blue double is a grammar problem, which really is kind of a spelling thing too. If there's purple dotted underline, then Word has some suggestions for you. If I turn on Grammarly, oh, I haven't logged in a while. We'll see. This should take real quick here. Well, we see. I'm going to sign in with Google. I got, like, you can tell I got like 1 million accounts. Oh, shoot. It takes a while. I'm going to pause. Okay, so I signed in to Grammarly, and then now you can tell that I signed in. Even if you have a free version, you have to sign in. So here we've got correct your spelling and those kind of items. So Grammarly does do the same thing. And then we've got decrease. And then it wants correct article use. It wants like correct propositions. So I like Grammarly better than the review spelling and grammar. And so that'll come up and it says washing your hands with the soap. And then it says and water. It's telling me that, and it says then plus what is more. Let's see. Let's try and. Okay, so washing your hands, and it changed it to and for me. And then we're going to go back in, and we want to get rid of this spelling, and we click on it and it'll automatically pop up and you can choose decrease. And so the spelling and grammar editor pops up, tells you how many calculated at 100 words, but there's only 27. And so once you get 100 words, it's going to give you an editor score. And then you can check for similarity to online sources. You can do a lot of things with it. Same with Grammarly, you can do that too. So it's actually pretty great. I really like it. And then Grammarly I have set up to be formal because I'm using it for grad school. So now I've used that. It's really easy to check. We've got our word count here. When I was doing discussions, every time I put in a discussion for Rock Valley, I always think, oh, I told them to use 50 words, but it's got word count. So you can highlight a certain area, you can click word count. Okay, so this highlighted area has 24 words, 123 characters, no spaces, 146 characters with spaces, 1 paragraph, 2 lines. So it gives you all of the different stats. I'm kind of giving you a little more. Zooming, I don't know. You can zoom back and forth. I already showed you how to do that. To enter more text with spelling and grammar errors. All right, so let's see where we at here. What we want to do is we want to be down here. We're going to type in how. What I'm going to do, and because I do not, I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to add everything in here. All right, so I added everything in here, but you can tell I totally copied and pasted this. So one of the things, and this is what students need to learn how to do, is if you're copying and pasting things, and people do this all the time, they copy and paste it from like ChatGPT or some random website, and then it looks like garbage. So this looks like garbage. I can tell that you copied and pasted. This is ridiculous, right? So what I do is instead of being in where it looks different, I go to the formatting I want it to be. And then this little paintbrush is the format painter. It's awesome. And so you just want to make sure, because like if there's other formatting things, like if the font is bigger, if the font is different, if it's bold, it will copy that as well. So I just want this to be plain. And then you just highlight, and then it makes it right back to where we are. So since I copied and pasted it, because sometimes it's hard to add in errors. So it wanted me to add in errors. And then I'm going to go back to review, spelling and grammar. Scrub hands, it should be 4. And then I need to click on this one. Rinse soap off of hands. Let's just say rinse soap from hands. That does sound better. And then dry your hands. Well, using a towel or an air dryer. So let's delete the repeated word. So that works out great. All right, there we go. There's our full spelling and grammar. And you can see we've got 70 words now. All right. All of the different ways. You can actually right click. So if I do undo, if you right click on it, it gives you a little bit more. Delete repeated words. So you can right click on it. I just like to click on it, but you can right click as well. So don't forget that you can right click. You can use the sidebar. You can do all of that. I am not worried about any of this because the same here. And sometimes it doesn't like it all underlined because of capitalization. So this one's very similar. I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm just going to do the whole thing into here. And so I'm just copying that over. We're going to insert a blank line after this. And so now we got our insertion point at the end. And then we're going to enter more text. So I'm going to pause it. I'm going to enter that in. Okay, so since I copied and pasted most of this stuff in here, one of the items that it says is, why is foodworkers.com in blue? So right now it's not. I think if I hit enter, it didn't do it. So what happens is when you have the web address and you hit space after it, I'm going to hit delete just to kind of tighten things up. It will underline it in blue. So that is a hyperlink. It automatically creates a hyperlink. On the flyer that you all most of you did already, you need to get rid of that hyperlink. So you can highlight it, and then I like to right click. And then you can go to edit hyperlink, open hyperlink, copy hyperlink, or remove. So you can remove it, and that's one of the directions that it wants you to do. But I believe if you go back and, if you go back and you hit space again, it will still pop up. And then the general notes for entering text is you want the headline. So wash your hands is going to be a headline. And then you've got your body copy, and then there's a signature line. So this is going to be the big item at the top. And then this is going to be your body. And then this is your signature line. I think it shows you here. So we've got, oh yeah, it doesn't really show you the title. So title, body, and then the signature line. Right now it looks terrible because we haven't done anything with it. So minimizing wrist injury. So I'm just going to go through a couple of these. I want to get through 1.5 and then I might do another video on the rest of this. So navigating a document, using the computer all the time can cause problems. I go to the chiropractor and he's like, yeah, you're just on the computer all the time. That's why your hands hurt. And every once in a while he'll adjust it for me so that it feels better. And so, but to prevent any injuries, I actually have a keyboard that, I actually have an ergonomic keyboard and mouse. Let's see. There we go. It's probably this one. It's this one. I have this set. It was on sale. That is not the price. This is not the price of what I paid for it. I think I got a smaller version. Yes, it's this Waves keyboard. I got the smaller version. It was not that much either. So I got the two of them for under $40 for sure. So this is the one I've got. And it's smaller. I mean, don't think it's very big. It's not crazy big. But I don't have that mouse didn't come with it. It's this mouse that came with it. So that's where it's weird. And actually, it's a little getting used to, but it's kind of nice because the roller's right here. And then my thumb also there's two buttons here that you can't see that work with it too. So anyway. So I use that to minimize any wrist injuries or hand injuries. And so far, so good. I've just been using my hands too much with typing to not have issues, I guess. Okay, so moving insertion point, I always just either click. If you have a touchscreen, you can use a touchscreen if you're lucky enough to have that. I bought a new laptop that I love, but it's not touchscreen. My previous one was. Or you can use the up and down arrows. But you can also do control left, and that takes you to over one word. Control right takes you over one word. Up arrow is up and down. You can hit end. It'll take you to the end of a line. Home will take you to the beginning of a line. If you do Control End, it takes you to the end of the document. Control Home takes you to the beginning of the document. Control Up arrow is up one paragraph. It's kind of, this one doesn't, you know, Control Up and Control, you can't really see it because it's just, they're all paragraphs, right? And then Page Up, Page Down, there it is. Page Up, Page Down. Top of page, bottom of page. And then you can use your scroll mark. And mouse. I love the scroll mouse. I just use it all the time. So you can go up and down. If you can click anywhere above the scroll box, you can change your, you can change your zoom if you hold Control down. Click anywhere above the scroll box on the vertical scroll bar. Up one screen, down one screen, up one line, down one. I don't really use that. I just use the scroll itself. And then save file. So I showed you how to save it. My autosave is on. If I want to save, I just hit that little floppy disk icon. We'll talk about that later. Control S is another way to save. You don't really see it saving. So if you want to save a copy, File, Save As. And then this is also where you can print. Let's see what else we've got for part. Okay, so then now we get into the formatting paragraphs and characters. So I'm going to stop